Throwable items have a pretty unique spot in Fortnite's history. I mean, we've even seen in LTM just based around only items that you can throw. I mean, if you think about it, some of Fortnite's most iconic items have been some of those that you can throw. And in today's video, we are going to revisit some of Fortnite's best throwable items of all time. It is important to note at the beginning of the video here, this is only items that must be thrown to use. So for example, a Boogie Bomb, right? You cannot use the Boogie Bomb unless you throw it. So this list will not include something like mini shields or big shields, which yes, they are throwable items, but they don't have to be thrown to use, if that makes sense. If you guys go on to enjoy this video, be sure to leave it a like and use code TYFRYZ in the Fortnite item shop if you would like to support my growing channel here on YouTube. But with all that being said, let's get right into this. And I honestly wanted to start this video with an item that I don't think a lot of people are going to think of here, but that's going to be cluster clingers. And honestly, cluster clingers are really good, a lot better than I thought they would be in Chapter 5. But the amount of times that I've gotten killed by this grenade is honestly more than most other grenades in the game's history. And honestly, dare I say, it's kind of underrated. I mean, each explosive does 30 damage, so if you throw a cluster clinger in the right spot, you can deal 150 damage on somebody. I mean, think about it, there aren't that many grenades that have the possibility of doing 150 damage to somebody. It's just a really good explosive item. I mean, if you're able to get this into somebody's box, they're basically instantly dead. And it's happened to all of us. We all know, honestly, how annoying these things can be when you're trying to box up and someone's spamming these things at you, but I mean, they are good at what they are meant to do. I honestly think just the main downside of cluster clingers is the fact that you can do a lot of damage to yourself if you're not careful. I am not a noob by any stretch of the imagination, but I have killed myself so many times with cluster clingers, or at least done 30, 60, 90 damage to myself. But honestly, I would argue that a well-placed cluster clinger is one of the best explosive weapons ever, and you can stack a bunch of them so you have the potential to do multiple damage to multiple people. And yeah, I think it's a really solid throwable item. And this item I had mentioned in the intro to this video, and you honestly probably saw it coming. It's the Boogie Bomb. I mean, look, the ability to just make anybody freeze what they're doing and be completely vulnerable cannot be understated. It's extremely strong. And not just that, but the ability to remove anybody from their vehicle at any time as long as you hit their vehicle with the Boogie Bomb is also extremely strong. I mean, we saw it for a little bit in Chapter 5 Season 3, the ability to just throw the Boogie Bomb at their car. Doesn't even have to hit them, just as long as it's near their car and they're totally vulnerable for a free shot, basically a free kill, let's be honest. And honestly, the hardest part about using the Boogie Bomb is just actually landing and hitting somebody with it. Of course, if you hit yourself, you are in big trouble. There's the loud sound cue, you hear the music, your opponents will hear the music, and you are in big trouble. But you can stack so many of these. We all know how strong Boogie Bombs are. There's a reason why they're so scarcely in the loot pool. I think it's good in both zero build and build mode. Again, the ability to just neutralize anybody. They have to stop what they're doing for, 4, 5, 6 seconds. You line up that big 150, 160 shotgun shot and they're done. Also, the ability to hit multiple people with one Boogie Bomb and you almost get 2 free kills, 3 free kills, you know what I'm saying? Like, God, the Boogie Bomb is super, super good. In the right hands, I think you can make an argument this is the best item we've ever seen in Fortnite. Next, let's talk about the Mythic Goldfish, and this is kind of a confusing one, so let me explain. The Mythic Goldfish is incredible. By all metrics, it should be the best item we've ever seen in Fortnite. You throw it at somebody, if you hit them, you just instantly kill them. Doesn't matter how much health, how much shield, they are instantly dead. And so you are probably thinking that this is a no-brainer for this list, but I was honestly hesitant to put it on here just because of really how hard it is to find. I mean, I would probably say that 99.9% of people watching this video have never used a Mythic Goldfish before, or even found one on their own, or even in a regular game. Of course, there's LTMs, put those aside here. We're talking about regular Battle Royale. But I'll be honest with you, and I have actually been lucky enough to use the Mythic Goldfish in a regular pubs lobby, and it was kind of difficult to use. You basically had to direct impact somebody with it, especially in build mode. That can be harder than you think. In theory, this is an incredible weapon, but in practice, I mean, it's okay. Look, let me just say this here. It absolutely deserves to be on this list, but with how rare it is, I mean, that has to play a part, right? If almost nobody's ever used it, at least in a Battle Royale lobby, how am I supposed to kind of accurately rank it, I guess? But, I mean, with all that being said, I do think that it still deserves to be on this list. It is an incredible throwable item. Next, let's talk about Chug Splashes. And these are, spoiler alert, going to be the only healing item on this list, and that's because, of course, you have to throw Chug Splashes to use them. I guess, hypothetically, you could throw Pizza Party on here, but that's kind of a gray line. But anyways, I mean, I think Chug Splashes are one of the best healing items ever. They're so versatile. You can use them on yourself for a quick 20 health or shield, use them on your teammates, use them on all of you guys combined. They're just so good, and the fact that you can throw throw them so quickly. I mean, let's be honest, it used to be a lot faster. I think it was in season 9. You guys have to go look at that clip of how fast you used to be able to throw Chug splashes, but still now they're totally fine. They are an incredibly solid healing item. Everyone loves when they come back to the loot pool because you don't complain when you have Chug splashes, right? They truly are your kind of do-it-all healing item. You're in the storm and you need white heals, you throw Chug splashes. You're in the middle of a fight, you need Chug splashes. When you and your teammate get, hit by an explosive, you both take damage, you just throw Chug splashes on you guys. They're so good. And honestly, I guess you could throw chili Chug splashes in here as well. I mean, they're the same thing, except they give you like the spicy chili effect, which makes you run faster, all that stuff. So I guess you could throw those in here. But honestly, Chug splashes were my inspiration to make this video. When I think of throwable items, they are one of the first, if not the first item that you think of. And yeah, they are the inspiration for this list, so they got to be on here. And next, I want to talk about a totally forgotten about Fortnite item. It's typically only in the game for a month or two during a specific season, and that is presents. And yeah, presents are really only in the game typically around Christmas time, which makes sense. And I'm just talking about the normal holiday presents, the ones that you would throw down and it would spawn a epic or legendary weapon. And while this is kind of a toss-up weapon, right, because you throw it and you're either going to get a good weapon or a weapon that you don't want and don't care about, and therefore it makes the present bad, right? But I mean, it is a epic or legendary item. You're never really going to complain about getting one of those for really free, right? And also, hey, if you are desperate and you are out of builds or something, throw the present and there you go. You got 4 walls to hide inside of. You would actually be surprised how many people are able to trap people inside of presents and troll them. I was really debating on whether they should be on this list because they're really rarely in the game, let's be honest, but when they are, I feel like they are a good and welcome addition and deserve to be here. Next, and probably the best throwable item of all time, it's Shockwave grenades. Look, you guys all probably clicked on this video knowing that Shockwaves were going to be here. I just had to keep you on your toes a little bit, put it towards the end. There really isn't any explanation needed here. You guys have all used Shockwave grenades. They're always in the game. They are most people's first choice for mobility items. No fall damage. If you're in a box with someone, just throw a Shockwave at your feet. There they go. There you go. If you need to rotate to zone, throw a Shockwave. If you want to send somebody flying off the map, throw a Shockwave at them. You could do anything with these. They are honestly most people's favorite items of all time. And let's be honest, Shockwave grenades needed to happen because when impulses came out, they were cool, but let's be real, impulse grenades are pretty trash now, and Shockwaves just entirely replaced them. The versatility here, the ability to be able to use Shockwaves on offense or defense in really any situation, they're always useful. You can stack, 6 of them? I mean, you can't go wrong with Shockwave grenades. Absolutely deserve to be here, and if I was ranking these, this would absolutely be the best. And you guys know I like to keep kind of a controversial take towards the end, and for my last pick of this video, it's going to be the Junk Rift. Now, let's be honest here, we are basically getting a better version of the Junk Rift with the Pirates of the Caribbean collab with the Ship in a Bottle item, I believe it's called. That's essentially just a Junk Rift on crack, I mean, let's be real. But I do think the Junk Rift has a spot in the game and is really good. If you don't know how the Junk Rift works, you basically just throw it wherever you want, probably at an enemy in a box, and a big piece of junk would come out of a rift, as the name suggests, and would just fall directly on top of the person that you threw it on top of. It just destroys anything in its path, really. And you are able to cause some serious chaos with this item. If you have somebody in a box, or if you have 2 or 3 people in like 2 or 3 boxes right next to each other, just throw it in the middle of them, you'll kill them all. Also, the fact that the Junk Rift drops materials is a super underrated aspect of the item itself, and I mean, if you throw 2 or 3 Junk Rifts, you can easily get 100 of each material. My only real problem with the Junk Rift is that it is loud, and as soon as you hear a Junk Rift open above your head, you basically have a couple seconds to get out of there, right? And it is loud, like you know when it's coming. There is no secrets here, so if you throw this on top of a good, quick-witted player, they will just edit out of their box and move over, right? Because the radius isn't that big, it's basically just a 1x1 tile. But if you are able to catch somebody who's in the middle of healing, or somebody who's just not really paying attention that much, or even anybody with kind of a slower reaction time, you could just drop this on top of their head and they will instantly die, for the most part. It is honestly so fun to use, to be able to drop this on people and see their body go kind of flying. I know it's a little cynical of me, but it is really fun. And it's honestly one of my favorite items in Fortnite history, and definitely, I think, deserves to be on this list. Alright guys, that is my revisitation of some of Fortnite's best throwable items. If you guys would like to see me revisit some of Fortnite's worst throwable items, trust me, there are plenty of those. I could absolutely do that. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, be sure to leave me a like, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.